Hello, Steve Nanney with Steve Nanney Music, coming back to you today. I'm going to do another review of one of my basses. Had this bass probably about, I don't know, 10 years. I think I bought it in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I was in Nashville, Tennessee, doing some recording down there, and went into a music store looking at basses. Played every bass they had in the whole building, and this is the one that just felt the best. Fender Jazz Bass. Ta-da! Road worn. So this bass is distressed from the factory. So what they do, they make it look like it's really old, like it's lived a hard life. I think it's an early 60's reissue, I believe, is what it's based after, what it's modeled after. But they distress it, the finish, the neck, everything on the back here. You can see it looks like it's had a long life and has some stories to tell, but it doesn't. It looked like that brand new. Now, naturally, I've added a few little nicks and scratches over the years playing it and doing gigs with it, but you know, and some people, they hate the fact that Fender makes these road-worn basses. Me, I don't mind it. I think they're cool. And what it boiled down to for me, after all the basses that I played in the store the day I bought this thing, this one felt the best when I picked it up. The neck felt great. It felt like I had known this bass for years. Some of the detail that they go into with it's a lacquer finish, which I like. It doesn't have the poly coating or whatever they call it, the hard coating they put on new basses. It's still an old style lacquer, nitrocellulose finish, whatever they call it, but it's old school and it plays and feels that way. You know, they're made in Mexico, not a super expensive bass as far as Fenders go, but I dig them. I think they're worth the money. Figured I'd show you some of the changes I've made to this bass over the years that I've had it. Not many, nothing major, you know, common stuff, but some things that I did to kind of help it and get it to play and sound exactly the way I wanted it to. The bass sounded good when I bought it, but I did change out the pickups. Went with the Aguilar Jazz pickups, the AG70's, the 70 Eras pickups, and they really have a great old school, just funky tone to them. Just really like the way the pickups sound. This bass doesn't have a lot of output. It's not super loud, so I do have to leave plenty of headroom with my amp when I play this bass live. You know, because it can get buried pretty quick. Pickups helped that a little bit. Didn't have a lot of output originally, but I think compared to the newer road worn I got, I think they've really kind of upgraded the electronics on these, because the P bass is nothing of sort. I mean, that thing is hot. So that's the only downside to this bass, is just the low output. But you know, when you compensate with the amp and you've got it cranked up, it sounds great. Also did the Emerson pre-wired volume tone pots. Put the Emerson kit in it, and also a Babbitt's full contact bridge. Absolutely love these bridges. these things feel rock solid. You know, I hated to get rid of the old factory, the old school Fender bridge, but I'll tell you, the Babicks, for the feel, can't beat them. It really gave a lot of stability, helped the tone, and the sustain on the notes made a sizable difference, and really the bass plays like a champ. I mean, it's rock solid. You don't care to take this thing out and beat on it for a couple hours at a live gig. Funny story, I actually had a guy one night try to buy my vintage bass and offered me a lot more than what I paid for it. One night at a little club gig we were doing, and you know, he looked at it, played it. Apparently he doesn't understand the serial numbers from Fender, because it says plainly on the back, made in Mexico, and last time I checked in the 60s, I don't think Fender was making basses in Mexico. One of the things that I do love about this bass, and I've said a couple times in the video, is the neck. And let me show you why. You can see here, no finish. Took a Scotch-Brite pad. I mean, it was worn some originally, but took a Scotch-Brite pad, got the finish off the back of the neck, so it's smooth, and man, it plays good. So there you have it. You've met my road-worn jazz bass. Like I say, spent about 10 years with this bass. Don't really see it going anywhere. Looks cool, sounds cooler, plays like a dream, and love it.